Around the middle of last year, 2Kyo Games, the minds behind Master Detective Archives Rancode, announced a brand new title called the 100-Line Last Defense Academy. And in the lead up to its release on April the 24th, they shared that a demo was made available for PC via Steam. The full release will also be coming to Switch as well. Now, this being one of my most anticipated titles of 2025, I was more than happy to put everything else on hold and grasp the opportunity to check out what the game was all about. The demo took about 3 hours to complete and you can play up to day 7, a mechanic I'm going to be talking a bit more about as we discuss the game. In addition, all save data can be carried over to the full release. So initially, did I have a good time with this demo? Yeah, I did. I'll be buying the game when it releases for certain. It showed more than enough promise to me in those 3 hours to be worth the price of admission, and I hope this video might convince others to do the same. I say that because it's fair to deduce that director Kazutaka Kodaka is placing a lot of importance on this title, going as far as to say that if the game fails commercially, he and his relatively young studio are prepared to go bankrupt and retire on the spot. Now, I do think that the man is exaggerating a little, but it does say to me that he at least has a fair amount of expectation placed on the game. There's a clear window into the amount of work and dedication that went into it. And so far, I am liking what I see. Last Defense Academy is centered around the high school protagonist Takumi Samino, a boy who lives an average yet peaceful life. He spends his days in the Tokyo residential district, a city that is sheltered from the outside world. For Takumi, this is the norm, and outside of sporadic alarms that sound out warnings of external threats, they never proceed beyond just a warning. That is until one day when the shelter is breached by invaders who go on a merciless rampage. During this attack, Takumi is given a blade-like device which allows him to amplify his blood and use something called Hemo Anima. This power allows him to fight the invaders but also marks him as a chosen individual of the Last Defense Academy, which he is swiftly swept away to. In this academy, which is seemingly far away from the residential districts he grew up in, Takumi and the other enlisted members must use their powers to fight back against the invaders, for if the school falls, then humanity goes extinct. Even so, Takumi only needs to commit to this task for 100 days before he is seemingly reprieved of duty. There's no doubt that the game starts off heavy on the narrative side. The premise and threat is made apparent right from the beginning, and it's already layered in mystery with the questions gradually increasing even inside those first few hours. Now, while 3 hours isn't enough to judge the quality of a story, I am intrigued by this plot. There are already several moments in the game that have hooked me in narratively speaking, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop. And the same holds true for the characters as well. Voiced in both English and Japanese, the cast is wide and diverse with that signature art style of the Danganronpa series. They certainly fit into their tropes quickly, which is fine. Tropes are needed in my opinion to define each of the members, rather it's how they develop and present it that defines their quality. And there's no way I can decide that after just 3 hours. At the very least, the cast members who fight with Takumi seem interesting based on the demo alone, but just like the story, I'm going to have to hold out on giving any more than that until the full game releases. As for gameplay, Last Defense Academy takes on a hybrid approach, much like Master Detective Archives did. In this case, it's a visual novel strategy game hybrid. Takumi is enlisted for 100 days in the academy, and you proceed from one to the next with both a day and night period. Some of these moments you will have to proceed the story, which you can find marked on the map, though it does puzzlingly not show Takumi's position on said map, so that is a little bit weird, while other times you will get free periods to do what you want. These moments of respite allow Takumi to wander around the academy and do a variety of things. Talking to the other characters will yield side events of sorts which will increase his grades. These are basically parameters split into 5 different areas like gymnastics, science, mathematics and more. I do get the impression that these side events will have more significant significance later on in the game too, there's certainly the foundation there for more involved side events centered on the backstories of each of the characters. In addition, the grades fulfill crafting requirements like improving weapons. Takumi can go into the training room and use a device to improve the skills of himself or his allies as long as they have the required parameters and raw materials. Now, while grades can be improved on campus, to get raw materials, Takumi must go outside the confines of the academy and find them via exploration. These exploration segments take on a roguelite approach and board game aesthetic. You get numbered cards which define how far you will move, and each node results in a choice which can range from harvesting materials to damaging party members, and sometimes your movements may result in a fight. As mentioned previously, Last Defense Academy is a strategy title, and in terms of mechanics is not going to surprise anyone who has played games like Fire Emblem or Unicorn Overlord. In fact, Last Defense Academy is quite basic in terms of its battles, or at least from the demo it is. Action points are shared among the team, and each member has their unique ability, the option to defend and a dash option. When the character has completed their action, they become fatigued, which limits movement for a second action, and the only way to remove this is by using specific abilities like guarding or waiting till the turn ends. The flexibility of the system is mostly in the action points per round. There are many ways you can manipulate them, like stocking them up for a future turn or using abilities to get the extra points. Attacking will also increase the voltage meter at the top of the screen, which will allow the character to either use their ultimate move or boost their Hemo Anima, which ranges from a damage buff to removing fatigue. As far as the demo showcased, there didn't appear to be any positional or terrain advantages, and for plot reasons, there is also no permadeath from what I saw. In fact, death is encouraged to a certain degree in Last Defense Academy as it boosts the voltage meter and yields a stack of action points too. As far as I saw, there was no need to worry about losing any of the members. They will return to you come the end of the fight, and it's most likely because without them the story wouldn't proceed as intended. When a battle ends, you get a ranking screen that gives you battle points for weapon upgrades, and in some cases, you'll also get to choose who gives the finishing blow to a boss on its last legs. This last blow will strengthen the Hemo Anima of the one who commits the action, so there's merit in figuring out who would be best to give it to, though in the demo, you can only give it to a specific character for plot purposes. I would like to think the choice will be given in later fights, as it does give you the option to scroll through combatants. Admittedly, it is not the deepest battle system, and I don't think it's intended to be the focus of the game. I would think it's similar to what Utawarerumono did, where the gameplay accompanied the main dish, which was the story, and I'm firmly getting the same feeling from Last Defense Academy. Overall though, I was happy with the demo. It did more than enough to get me excited for the game, and I'll certainly be buying it come April the 24th. Like I say, it's releasing on both PC and Nintendo Switch, and I think story lovers should consider giving this one a go. It's shaping up nicely from those first few hours. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe for more JRPG content, and consider joining my Patreon if you're interested. Peace.